Welcome back to the GAC Group 2015 ITTF World Tour Qatar Open, part of the Super Series. We're here in Doha, Qatar. I'm Adam Bobrow, and we are getting into the first of the women's singles quarterfinals, where FENG Tianwei of Singapore will be playing Li Shui of France. This is a 4 out of 7 women's singles quarterfinals. Should be an exciting match. FENG Tianwei, the #1 seed in this tournament, world rank #5 at 28 years of age. Li Shui of France, 29 years old. Two of the more experienced players in this tournament. And again, we're getting to see some action from the Singaporean team. This tournament, we had 67 women participating. 176 players total, and we are down to our final 8 women of 67 participating. Players from 36 different countries, and Singapore has taken up several spots in the final matches. You can see Tanya there, Bilenka, the chopper, who's playing quite well this tournament. Advanced to the women's quarterfinals and singles as well. The racket Twiddler. Sponsors for this tournament for tables are Yola, playing on professional quality Yola 3000 SC tables. The ball sponsor, DHS, or Double Happiness, as you might know it. There are some of our Korean players sticking around to support. The top seed, Sehyo Won, has been knocked out of the tournament. I guess the second seed, rather. FENG Tianwei top seed, Sehyo Won, expected to make it to the finals. Not even in the quarterfinals. Bit of an upset. But still, our Ask a Pro Anything feature of the week, Sehyo Won. Our floor sponsor, Gear Floor. High quality, high traction floor for table tennis around the world. So FENG Tianwei has been hanging with the top players in the world, in the top 5 in the world, for a good decade or so. Li Shui on screen right now, good close to the table game. At least on the forehand for warm-ups. See a defensive shape racket there. French coach. Coach Jing of Singapore. Again, players turned coaches. Years and years of experience, as Peter Carlson was taken by the Brazilian team to help bring their players to a higher level. You can hear the sound difference on a defensive blade. Defensive players still having a strong offensive game on the forehand side. Sehyo Won, despite being eliminated, arguably the strongest, if not, well, I'd say one of the strongest women's serves on the Women's Pro Tour. Very deceptive, setting up that third ball attack. FENG Tianwei, known for being a wall, not necessarily overly powerful, but very good at redirecting the ball right off the bounce, quick reaction time and short strokes. So in the women's singles tournament, it'll be $26,000 that goes to the winner of this event. And $13,000 for second. $3 million over the year on the Pro Tour, sponsored by GAC Motors, Motor Group. Bringing their cars in, mostly for Chinese events, but also to Kuwait. And for our next tournament in Nigeria, we'll have a car there. This is a best 4 out of 7. Lee starting us off with the serve. Strong play from down near the ground. Heavy chop, keeps it nice and low. Feng Tianwei saw the opportunity, hit it right at the body, takes the legs out from underneath Li. No problem for Li.
One all.
Feng Tianwei with a well-placed ball deep into the backhand court, forcing an uncomfortable shot with not a real follow-through from Li. And the floating chop deep on the table, overlifted. Again, this is something Sehyo Wan uses quite well even. Beat Feng Tianwei in the World Tour Grand Finals in Thailand, varying spin on chops. Off the top of the net and out, the point goes to Li for a 3-1 lead. If we have more points like this, this match could become an expedite rule match where the serving player has to finish the point before the receiver can return 13 shots. This rule only comes into effect if 18 points have not been scored in 10 minutes. And with points like that, we will probably not need an expedite rule. Then again, close games more likely to take longer. In an expedite rule, it would give the advantage to Feng Tianwei, you would think, forcing the defender to play attack. And in a push-to-push rally, Feng Tianwei takes the point. Very interesting theoretical question about an attacker playing a chopper. Why not force, if you can, the expedite rule? Just play pushes, play long rallies, force the defender to have to play a game where they can't just chop all day, that they have to play an attack game, put the pressure on. And that's a huge forehand attack out wide to the forehand side. In theory, with the expedite rule, I guess one answer is that the defending player still has a long time to return the ball. 13 shots, it's very rare that you see someone break 13-shot rallies, especially in an expedite rule.
5-3.
Again, lighter underspin earlier in the rally sometimes with the long pips, which is the red side of the racket for Li Shui. A little tougher to add extra spin early in the rally. Coming in for the huge counter hit. The right idea, Li's gonna have to get there a little bit earlier though. Feng Tianwei keeping the ball nice and low creates a very difficult counterattack for Li. More common time for a defender to attack is after they've hit a heavy chop that's left a little high on the push up near the table, come running in, take it off the backspin. Just an incredible point. Recovering a top of the net, giving a top of the net back to Feng Tianwei. And it comes right back again, look at this. And then from down near the ground, a huge loop squatting. We have not seen that sort of attack play from Li. All over the backcourt and back into the table. The point of the match.
5-6.
And then a quick point from Feng Tianwei with an outright deceptive underspin serve on the inside out. What a finish, just incredible. The
7-5.
level is getting higher and higher as the game goes on, and we're only in game one. Just outdoing each other. Feng Tianwei waiting for the opportunity, had been testing Li the whole time, bringing her wider and wider to the forehand. Li clearly prefers the chop on the backhand side, and then picks her time, plays the short side of the table, blasts it down the line to take the point. The longest rally, right up there for best rally this match. 2-point lead, Li, 7-5 with the serve. Feng Tianwei playing it into the body twice, finally hitting the backhand side of the racket. Just a little jam takes that ball high and it goes long.
Six, 8.
We haven't seen that yet. The deceptive serve. Li winning the point outright against Feng Tianwei. Fear of a third ball attack can put a little more pressure on your opponent. Top of the net and long. It's a tough start for Feng Tianwei against a defensive player from France. Serves are becoming clutch late in this game. About midway through, we saw Feng Tianwei fool Li with that underspin inside-out serve. It's the second time this game that it's happened. And right back. You think you can do that? Look what I can do. Even heavier. Long, deep to the backhand. And now it's 3 game points for Li. Excellent touch from over the table, bringing Li rushing back into the table. Watch Feng Tianwei get it right off the bounce. Very soft. That's not always going to finish the point, but it definitely puts pressure, especially with that huge follow-through that Li has on that chop. Still 2 game points against Feng Tianwei. Top of the net, but stays on her side, and it's a 1-point game. Feng Tianwei with her second serve coming up. Playing the corners, running Li around, testing the middle still. So many things to consider every shot. 9-10. Outstanding point. Feng Tianwei recovering just an incredible ball off the top of the net, flat hitting it right into the body of Li, and it comes back into play. Li really showing why she's made it this far in the tournament. And then it's the heavy spin ball to the inverted rubber, the forehand side that's blocked long. There could be a highlights reel of just the first game already. 4 or 5 points that are contenders for the top 10 of the week.
10-11.
And after a 3-point run from Feng Tianwei, Li breaks it and gets game point once again, her 4th time this game. And the crushing flat hit clips the top of the net. Feng Tianwei apologizes, but still an outstanding point. Patient play from Feng Tianwei, keeping the pressure on. Picking and choosing. That one a little bit on the inside of the ball. See her wrist, the way she pulls back. Changed up the pace and spin a little bit. And it's 11-all, second deuce this game. Feng Tianwei finding the backhand deep on the forehand side, forcing Lee out of her comfort zone. Lee clearly more comfortable taking the backhand chop. You can see the amount of footwork Lee has to do to get that shot. Choppers have to have very strong legs and outstanding footwork to come racing back into the table. They also force the legs to really work of their attacking opponent. Just missing the wide side of the table to the short backhand. Outstanding counter again. Lee really showing that a big flat hit right into the body doesn't bother her as much as it should bother most people. Feng Tianwei had her first game point. We're now at a towel break and the third deuce point this game. Lee, one of the more versatile choppers in the game. Right on the wide of the line, but Feng Tianwei recovers off the edge, the back edge of the table for her second game point coming up. And that ball is too faint to return. And backhand to backhand, corner to corner. Feng Tianwei working Li Shui all around the backcourt. Takes game one. What a comeback. 14-12 after being down 7-10 in game one. This is a best of 7 match, and we're just getting started. Stick around for game 2 just after this.
还是加强点，稍微再进攻，对吧？你现在不能全台用反手削，对吧？你原来反手削，你反而难度加大，对不对？你这反手削完以后，他现在拉球都很轻，其实你反正2个效果都不错，是吧？但是你现在最后就是想稳想减了。 给他点压力，是吧？不然打的还可以。他现在也没什么别的办法，他撒手没有，他只能就靠炮，最后就给你拉起来。对，说因为你全都有反手球。
Time. Second game, FENG to serve.
And as time is called, we start game 2. Feng Tianwei with the serve. After winning the first game is up 1-0. Love all. And quite a different attitude from Lee. Coming in quickly for a powerful flat-hitting forehand off the top of the net and out. That's a quick decision. Shotgun sees the ball a little higher than usual on the spinning forehand and tries to crush it back.
1-all.
Change of pace from Lee. Heavy spin. Still deep on the table, but slightly lower. Powerful shot right into the body. Those have been coming back most of game one. Feng Tianwei playing patiently. Very important for an attacker against a chopper, or any defensive player for that matter. They're used to bringing the ball back. Don't be aggravated when it happens. Two huge flat hits in a row right into the body, just barely missing the edge of the table. This looked like a mishit maybe off the edge of the blade there. And of course, Lee playing it still. Don't stop playing until it's over.
Forward.
And in case you were wondering why she runs around to use the backhand so much, thinking about how strong the legs of Lee have to be to play backhand from both corners, shot after shot. Maybe she's just more comfortable there. Ball floating back off the long pips. Sometimes the inverted. A little bit more question about what the shot will be.
1-5.
And this game has quite a different feel from game one. Despite being up 10-7, Lee changing her tactics a little bit. Playing a bit more aggressive near the table when she can. I guess it's fair to say that she's looking for the opportunity to attack. It seems like a little bit more, but Feng Tianwei really settling into a nice rhythm right now. Very comfortable reading the varying spins on the chops. Picking places on the table, but that's always been Feng Tianwei's thing, placement. And after two big forehands, the ball's left a little bit high. Feng Tianwei sees the opportunity to finish the point. But the ball's a little bit far away for her to get the shot she wants out of it. She'll make that shot still, good percentage of the time. Right back into the table, left a little bit high, but close to the net. Again, the placement, Feng Tianwei keeping the pace up, hitting it right into the body. Chopper's legs can sometimes get in the way of their shot. But I guess every player has the same issue with their body. Strong attack right into the body of Feng Tianwei. Whether the racket's up high, coming over the ball for an attack, or starting high and coming low for a chop, the body's still an obstacle a player has to deal with. Huge forehand again. That's a much quicker reaction from Li Shui. Slightly shorter stroke, less spin. Picks the short side of the table. Feng Tianwei not able to cover that part.
Seven, 5.
The floating long chop, not as much spin as some of the others, overlifted by Feng. See how quickly she's getting ready for the next shot right after a chop. Playing the angle of the ball, preparing for the next.
5.
It's a service receive attempt we haven't seen a lot of from Lee. Sometimes players with long pips will step around, taking it from the forehand corner, sort of dip the head of the racket and quickly push it out wide. And there it is again,
6,
Lee right
8.
back at the table off the bounce to just flat hit it and put it away. No time for Feng Tianwei to react to this. Ball still on the rise. Lee, very threatening shot. Now has the serve and 2 of them, trailing by 2 points. 2 serves tied up. Outstanding rally again. Feng
6-9.
Tianwei working it out wide to the backhand after some touch shots over the table, flat shots into the body. And you've seen that Lee is starting to use the forehand a little bit more so that she doesn't have to run around the backhand, leaving open the backhand side too much. But Feng Tianwei having a chance to take that inside out deep to the backhand.
Yes.
And after all that
9-7.
patience, the first attack from Feng Tianwei goes into the net. From a serve-receive standpoint, could be valuable for Lee to have that receive that she tried. The fast receive out wide to the forehand. Feng Tianwei is going to be setting up for her forehand attack on the backhand corner quite often.
9-8.
And a bit aggressive, possibly overdoing it. You could hear the sound of the flat hit as Feng Tianwei goes to just finish the point. The ball was neither here nor there. A little bit high, still deep on the table, still good spin. Not an easy ball to flat hit to finish. Just into the top of the net after a beautiful lob deep into the backhand corner. That ball right there comes back floating. And still, you almost wonder if Lee's going to come running back into counterattack after a lob like that. So deep on the table, so specific, kicking into the backhand side, or at least on the backhand side. Doesn't leave Feng Tianwei with a lot of opportunities, but now Lee has the serve against 2 game points, down 8-10. And after 2 forehand attacks, Lee's fighting to stay in this game. The first one is blocked back by Feng Tianwei, and then one more spin shot. And that bit of topspin on the ball,
9-10.
after Feng Tianwei had blocked back the first flat hit, drives the follow-up shot. Feng Tianwei taking it a little bit late. And it goes long. A 1-point game, Lee, 9-10.
9-11.
And an unfortunate ending for Lee after such a run back. 2 games to love. Feng Tianwei's up. Game 3 back just after this.
会看门品，点完以后有些机会好的可以像这块再来调整一下，其他没什么，就发球费就好了，因为他低调不大会抢分，自己发球非常好啊，有机会长的短的，还有看怎么看，追什么传球过去，好不好？抓紧啊，多抓紧。
Time.
And we're back for game 3, where Feng Tianwei is leading 2-0 over France's Li Shui.
Third game, lead to serve, level.
The Choppers made a valiant effort in both games after being up 10-7 in game 1, losing 14-12, and having a bit of a comeback in game 2, but losing 11-9.
One love.
Haven't seen too many from Feng Tianwei on a spin shot that go out. A few flat hits that have missed. Again, down the short side of the table. Lee's done it a few times, and it's been very effective. Difficult to read, fast near the table. That's the type of threat the defender needs to pose. Cannot let Feng Tianwei get too comfortable spinning, pushing, blocking even.
1-2.
And it's 0 for 2 on that receive attempt. That was sort of neither here nor there. Not a push, not a fast side swiping receive out wide to the forehand. Just in between. Too comfortable for Feng Tianwei. To the very baseline of the table, followed up with the attack, and that's the time to follow up. You have a deep chop on the table. You know the ball is going to come up either a little bit higher, just going to be a little bit less threatening, more predictable for location on the table, and the inside-out forehand to finish the point. Lee, strong start this game. Side spin on this chop as it hooks back in to the forehand side. Still a little bit high, but the spin variation because of that side spin can definitely throw off any player on the attack. Just painting the corners of the table. That last chop from the backhand had some side spin, hooking back into the table, right to the corner. And you're watching as she takes the chops from deep in the forehand court. Look at that ball. Doesn't get much more corner than that. Anything else would be hitting the edge. Smart play from Feng Tianwei. Got 2 forehand chops in a row and then hits it right into the body. As a defender, that's a confusing shot to make that decision. I guess that decision was sort of clear. It was just an adjustment after 2 forehands. Li Shui cannot afford to let the lead go. 3 game points in game 1 was not enough. Being up 5-1, definitely not enough either. 2 in a row for Feng Tianwei. Feng Tianwei playing very smart, blocking the attack, turning the play right back around, and then hitting it into the body, making it unpredictable. Timeout has been called. French coach talking to Li Shui. A lot of coaches, defenders, able to help with their defensive players. German national team coach Shep has produced a lot of top choppers over the years. But right now it looks like there's talk about the attack.
你为时未多，他就捡你漏洞了啊，所以这个得稍微注意点啊，像你停一下就是节奏给他乱了，这个其实战术打的还行啊，就是说别保守，削的也是。
There's Hyowon sitting out the tournament at this point, getting ready for your questions. Singaporean physical team, physical therapists, physiotherapists, VIPs. Now, I'm not fluent in Mandarin, but based on body language, it looked like Li Shui's coach and Li Shui were talking about receive and anticipating the shoulder turn of Feng Tianwei a little bit better. Difficult to read, but again, anticipation is huge at this level of play.
5-4.
The right idea tries to go wide cross court inside out. That shot has been very effective for Li throughout the match. And ironically, the ball a little bit closer to the net than I think Li was comfortable with, rather than a loop deep on the table, which usually is going to be more effective at deterring your opponent's attack. That is one low and one heavy chop. As heavy as they come. Barely back over the net. You'll see it. Ball barely even bounced, almost died on the table, just bit the surface. Beauty of a strong table where the ball doesn't skid. Heavy chop will do that. And Li Shui way out in front of herself on that ball. Manages to just clobber it, covering it. Catching it early, way out. I wouldn't even say early. The ball was on its way down already. It was just so low that Li Shui had to reach out in front of her to get it before it got below table level, creating a very difficult shot. Now it's a 2-point lead for Li. It's been a rocky start after 5-1, middle of the game. That was under the table, would have been the most incredible shot. Running back in. Completely fooled on a ball in near the table. That was the one. She was looking to turn for the forehand, and Feng Tianwei sees this, loops it deep to the backhand corner. Ball still comes into play. And that's a difficult shot. After a huge forehand is blocked, right back to block it with the long pips. Not chop, not push, but block. That ball right there, just a little bit on it. And then turns again. The block goes long, the push rather. Feng Tianwei trailing 6-8 with 2 serves.
7-8.
You can see that the forehand attack from Li is going to be playing a big role in this game. Has been already. Definitely looking to get on the aggressive. Just missing wide. Feng Tianwei plastering the balls. It's chopped deep with some side spin on the backhand corner. So Feng Tianwei takes both of her serves to tie it up 8 each. Matter of an inch. And that would have been a backhand punch shot with the long pips off the bounce. Definitely a low percentage, very high risk shot. But Feng Tianwei has to make it first for that to be the issue. Top of the net and out. The lead is back with Li Shui. She tries it again. Bringing a new shot into the inventory of this game. If she can make it, that is going to be a very difficult ball for Feng Tianwei. Fast, with no spin out wide to the forehand. Really puts a lot of pressure on Li Shui to make that ball, though. Not an easy shot. Blocking game, far more comfortable for inverted rubber. At least short pips. And Li Shui leaping out in front, reaching and really crushing that ball again wide to the forehand side. Feng Tianwei bringing it back. And right back into chop mode, getting ready to attack again. Slow-mo shots. And we are at deuce. Li had her first game point. Get a high deuce game in game one, 14-12. That seems like a bit of a misread. Shot selection there. Difficult ball. Li had determined she wanted to counterattack it. Feng Tianwei hit it into the body, not allowing an easy forehand ball. Couldn't tell she was going to attack it right from the moment. Season opening on the table, makes a quick decision. The body positioning was very difficult on that ball. Now it's game point for Feng Tianwei. Back to a second deuce, 11-all. Well received deep on the table to the forehand side. Service receive is going to be a huge factor for Li in this match. Deep chop on the table. Feng Tianwei. We haven't seen her miss too many of those opening spin shots. Look at this ball. Nice and low. And now it's another game point for Li Shui. Deep on the table, floats with not a lot of underspin, and Li Shui is on the board with her first game, trailing 1-2. We'll be back with game 4 just after this break. Time is called, As we come back for game 4, the French player Li Shui last back to the table. The coach seemed to have more to say. Very close game. Could have been down 3-0, but Li Shui is now making this a much tighter one-game match. Feng Tianwei to start us off with the serve, love all. And Feng Tianwei rushing a bit, trying to put that away. Not a bad opportunity. We're seeing fishing here. Haven't seen a lot of that. Li Shui bringing it back with topspin deep on the table from the forehand side. Not going for a full attack, but just keeping the pressure on with some kicking topspin. And the only drop shot that Feng Tianwei had in that, she kept it nice and surprising. Didn't show she was going to do it. At this level of play against a chopper, that's what you have to do. See a lot of players do that. If you show too early, the chopper is going to come right back into the table and be there for the attack. But still, Li Shui takes the point.
2-1.
Just missing on the out in front forehand. Says she should have gone to the backhand corner. Would have been an even more difficult shot with the net blocking more on the shorter side of the table. Li Shui is here. Some of you might not have seen her play quite as much this deep in a tournament. She beat Li Ho-ching, followed by Huang Yihua of Chinese Taipei. And she knew it. You could hear the foot stomp before the point was over. That last ball was long right off the blade. Li Shui to take down Li Ho-ching is a big upset. Li Shui number 56 in the world. Li Ho-ching number 20 in the world. It's the second time that Li Ho-ching has been upset by a chopper recently.
3-2.
You can hear the frustration from Li. That ball is hers. The opportunity was there, it was high, saw the short side of the table left open. She's gonna have to convert that point. Yeah, that ball, not a bad shot in theory, but at this level of play, too high.
Two, 4.
And Feng Tianwei taking advantage when the ball gets high herself, putting the pressure on, flat hits, varying spins. That last ball, really, Feng Tianwei's arm was so whip-like on that. A lot of spins still and a lot of speed. Li is having a lot of trouble on the forehand attack. This attacking game worked so well for her in game 3. She sees it, she knows the opportunity is there. Catching the ball just a little bit late, loses some opportunities for her shot. And a step around, we haven't seen many of those. Push long to the backhand, and Li Shui steps around to spin it up. Li Shui has shown that she has very strong footwork and leg strength. But even still, leaving open the whole forehand side of the table against Feng Tianwei is a big risk.
5-4.
Deep heavy chop on the table. Both players moving and setting up for every ball. Looked like Feng Tianwei tried to go a little inside out on that, add some more angle to the ball. Run Li around in the backcourt. And an unusual way to end the point, a push from near the table, driven into the bottom of the net. That rally had pushing, it had fishing, some counters right near the table. And that's where you can get some extra heavy spin right near the table. She accelerates under the ball with the inverted side of the racket. The long pips need a loop usually to get that much spin.
5-6.
And the short side of the table is hiding from Li Shui. Many times she's tried this, and in game 4, her percentages are definitely not pleasing for her sake. But still, it's a 1-point game. Li serving to tie it up, 5-6. Soft hands of Feng Tianwei, leaving it up on the table, and it's pushed long. The trajectory of some of these chops from Li off the backhand rubber tend to float, defensive blade, using the spin of her opponent's loop to reverse the spin of the ball, or I guess to continue the spin, but frictionless is the idea. Very similar with the long pips.
8-5.
We haven't seen that shot work once yet. Block with the long pips, the punch. Some choppers will twiddle their racket to use the inverted on that, but when you're that close to the table, it's usually a decision that has to be made when you're coming back into the table. Little side spin on that as it trails off the wide side of the table. Now a 4-point lead for Feng Tianwei. It was a 1-point game not too long ago. And that one missed by quite a bit. Li Shui got to really buckle down right now. 2 loops in a row brings it wider. Feng Tianwei a little off balance as she tries to cover the ball. Again, an unusual sequence to see Li Shui spinning the ball, much like she did when she stepped around the backhand corner, but she takes the point. And in the push-to-push rally, it's the defender who you might expect to outpush Feng Tianwei. But it's not just that Feng Tianwei's missing the push. It's the pressure to know that Li Shui at any moment is looking for the ball to come high and turn around and just crush it. Timeout is called. It's Feng Tianwei's side. Again, a coach is only going to call timeout if they feel that they can change the outcome of the match.
对对对，好吧，哪怕你再有这种事情，你给他打到点，给他打上点，对不对？好吧，走啊，
Trying to read the confidence levels of the players on the court. Feng Tianwei has reason to be confident, but there's clearly some sweating going on.
Time.
And again, a player's confidence plays a huge role. Sports psychology, whether it's imagery, imagining yourself making a certain shot,
9-7.
pulling off a certain tactic, whether it's from watching videos from an outside perspective or just imagining it from your own perspective. You have to believe that you can.
10-7.
And Feng Tianwei takes the first point after the timeout, strong timeout, and is now looking at 3 game points to go up 3 games to 1 over Li Shui. Finishes the point quickly, serves, sets up the third ball, and attacks. And that is it. 2 big shots and a spin shot. And Feng Tianwei goes up 3 games to 1 over Li Shui of France. Game 5 just after this break.
Time. 5th game. Lead to serve level.
And Li Shui is going to start us off trailing 1 game to 3 in game 5.
Love 1.
Not the start she's looking for. Quick rally to end on an early chop.
One all.
And off the top of the net and just long. Bit of a break worked out for Li Shui. We've seen more aggressive play early in the rally from Feng Tianwei, but still smart shot selection in general. Not trying to crush a ball when it's not there. Miss hit off the edge of the blade. Li Shui having a little bit less consistency than she did game 3. It was the one game that she won at deuce. And even in game 1, it's quite consistent throughout. Just missing for an around the net shot completely off screen. After a high lob stays nice and close to the net, Feng Tianwei able to hit it really wide. Inside out spin. Would have been cool. There she goes, making it on the short side of the table. After a game full of attempts at that shot. Sees the opening, gets around it. Perfect textbook form right there. Net for net
4-2.
off the very top of the net. Recovery shot stays even closer. In high pressure situations, the ability to touch it so softly while still racing into the table. Very impressive.
4-3.
Look how deep on the table that push is. Heavy, it's with the inverted side of the racket. It's been effective against Feng Tianwei on a few occasions in the last 2 games. And right into the
3-5.
body to finish the point. Feng Tianwei, an outstanding rally from both players. Li Shui dropped to the ground in the middle of that and still got back up and recovered, but that ball is right on the hip. See Li Shui trying to get the body out of the way. Feng Tianwei finding a very, very small, even imaginary spot at times. And the flat hit from the long pips comes into play. The first time we've seen it yet. That wasn't a punch block. It wasn't even a punch. It was a full-on backhand swat. But she turns it around. She twiddles, that's why. Use the inverted side. Able to spin and loop the ball from the backhand.
Five all.
You have to wonder if that shot, introducing that you can twiddle an attack, affects the psychology of Feng Tianwei every shot after, carried into the next point. Shaking her up a bit. Does Feng Tianwei have to worry about this happening again? Beautiful shot right into the body.
6-5.
Both players falling, collapsing after that point. Just exhausting. Not only physically, but mentally. Table tennis, often likened to chess, is the amount of thought that has to go into every shot, hitting in combinations, setting up shots ahead. Adjustments made against your opponent's game, placement, trajectory, spin. So much to think about on every ball. And in the end, it's the power right to the body that takes the point.
5-7.
Lee just missing the short side of the table. There's a bit of hope after she had done it earlier this game. Still a shot she has to take when she sees that opportunity. Coach Jing of Singapore, pleased with Feng Tianwei, winning the last 2 points to take a 2-point lead. Top of the net and stays on her side of the side of the table. Li Shui having some trouble right now. 3 points away from losing this match.
Nine five.
Unfortunate for Li Shui. Comes back in. Feng Tianwei's touch, though, even on the defensive shot, low enough that Li Shui looks a little bit high, but she's back from the table, and Li Shui gets there a little late. Can see the disappointment. It's a 4-point lead, Feng Tianwei, 9-5. And after a fishing shot goes deep and high on the table, the follow-up chop is low into the net, and it is now 5 match points for Feng Tianwei to move on to the women's singles semifinals. Li Shui has had better play throughout this match. Clip the edge of the table.
6-10.
Just barely. The importance of sound in table tennis. If you were watching on mute, you would have no idea that that hit other than Li Shui pointing.
7-10.
And we haven't seen a service receive error from Feng Tianwei since maybe the first game. 3 match points left, Li Shui, 2 in a row. And that is it. Feng Tianwei takes it 11-7 in Game 5. 4 games to 1 over Li Shui, the chopper from France. Outstanding play, patience, clever tactics, and Feng Tianwei's experience. The 28-year-old from Singapore, world ranked number 5 and the top seed in this tournament, is moving on to the women's singles semifinals. Stick around because we've got another match coming up just after this.